Hey there, true crime friends. Now listen, I thought I was done gossiping for the day. Oh, it's time for me to tuck my little self in and go to sleep. Nay, nay. Hot off the presses in Kouri Richins news. Oh, you remember Miss Kouri Darden Richins? She put that fentanyl, some sort of poison, in her husband's Moscow Mule and gave it to him to drink. And, he slipped the surly bonds of this earth child. He's off at the Endless Heaven buffet. And she got convicted last month, right? Miss Kouri thinks she's better than you and me. Oh, she's the smartest person in the room. Oh, well, maybe she'll be smarter than everybody down at the jail, right? Well, Miss Kouri got convicted. And, she was shocked and appalled. And then at her sentencing, and she was busy clutching her pearls, the judge and the lawyers and everybody else got together and they were like, what is a good day for the sentencing? We're going to do all of this. And they were like, okay, May 13th or whatever the date was. Kouri sat there quiet as a little church mouse. Oh, for once she can keep her little mouth shut. Anyway, little Miss Church Mouse sat over there and said not a word. The judge chose the date. The Richins family was like, yes, we will make ourselves available on that day. Well, come to find out, the date of the sentencing is also Eric Richins' birthday. Now, Miss Kouri had to have known that when they chose that date, that was her husband's birthday. She went on and she was probably still in shock, like, oh, I can't believe I'm going to be in bad outfits for the rest of my life. And then she went on off to jail. Well, everybody all up in the media, and you know me because I am the town gossip, was like, is that his birthday? Oh my God. Kouri, back in jail, got on the phone with her auntie, and the auntie was like, hey girl, hey, sorry you got convicted and you're going to prison for life. But isn't your sentencing on Eric's birthday? And Kouri, for some reason, failed to realize or remember or care that all of her jail phone calls are recorded. When you talk to somebody in jail, they have this recording that's like, hey girl, hey, your call will be recorded. I mean, not a quote, but that's the spirit of what they say. They like, hey girl, hey, your calls will be recorded and maybe used against you in a court of law. People going to be listening to them and stuff. Kouri ain't care. She was like, auntie, yeah, turns out that's his birthday. But I already told my lawyer, just like, move it. Ma'am, you are not the boss of jail. So Kouri Richins had 3 very highly qualified lawyers. And she was like, on the recorded jail phone call, yeah, auntie, I told my lawyer, girl, you're going to have to move that. And my lawyer said, oh, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. So I'm not really worried about it. Mr. Brad Bloodworth, the prosecutor, yes, she's been convicted, but he's still like, what's she saying on them calls? Because we could use them calls at her sentencing or whatever. So Kathy Nestor, the attorney, was like, we just gonna write this up. Dear judge, hey, how you doing? You're such a nice guy. Listen, we have all these extra strength emergencies and Kouri cannot be sentenced on that day that happens to be her husband's birthday because that is very inconvenient for her. And Mr. Bloodworth was like, that's hilarious. Yeah, what we not gonna do is that. So Kathy Nestor wrote up her little pleading or whatever to the judge, like, we have a whole lot of real good excuses. See, yes, we have 2 months to get ready for this sentencing, and of these 3 lawyers, one of us has a trial and somebody else is real busy, and the 3rd lawyer had a death in the family, and so we cannot possibly come up with anything to be ready for the trial. We have things in mitigation. We'd like her to go to jail for like 0 to 25 years instead of like LWOP, life without the possibility of parole or whatever, right? I think they were asking for 25 to life instead of life without the possibility. She needs to be put up under the jail so we can promptly forget about her behind. Bradley Bloodworth, the prosecutor, was just like, me. Let me read this heifer for filth right here in a pleading. Oh, yes. He was just like, dear judge, how you doing? You look so fancy in them robes. Again, the spirit of what he said. He was like, remember this heifer, that time that she poisoned her husband with the Moscow Mule and she just went around lying about everything. And then she was talking to her drug dealer and saying all that mess, not realizing that there is no drug dealer confidentiality. I know there's no drug dealer confidentiality, but she's real stupid. You know what else she was doing? She was talking to her auntie on the phone. Again, this is what he said in the pleading. I'm summarizing, right? He was just like, She was on the phone with her auntie, and she said to her auntie, oh, yeah, I know that's Eric's birthday, but they're not going to sentence me on that day. I already, commanded my lawyer. Your Honor, don't let this heifer get away with this. Your Honor, we need you to officially say, heifer, what? No. Also, there's some secret, sealed up documents and stuff, and her kids are not going to like it. Her ex-kids are not going to like it. She has lost full custody of her children. Apparently, over there in Idaho, Idaho to Iowa, child, you don't know where she is. Utah, Arizona, one of them states out west. If your act right is not fully installed and you go to jail, and the man that you killed has a rich family, you about to lose custody. Them your ex-kids. Because now those kids are being raised by that sister-in-law you didn't like. Remember her? The one that you was talking all kinds of mess about and giving the side eye and everything else. Now she's your kid's new mama. So the rich auntie who now has 5 kids instead of 2, it was just like, hey, Judge, hey, this is not going to be good for my new kids. They would like to see their ex-mama sentenced quick, fast, and in a hurry so they can get on with the rest of their lives. Please sentence her behind on their daddy's birthday. Thank you so much. And Brad Bloodworth was like, so, given the phone call and the kids and everything else, Your Honor, we say we would like to come and celebrate Eric's birthday by putting that heifer in jail forever, ever. And the judge was just like, he had a beautiful voice. Remember his voice? He had like that deep, sultry voice. Came down with a ruling this afternoon, just a couple of hours ago. Apparently, it's still business hours over there in Idaho to Iowa. Over here in the godless Northeast, child, it's the middle of the night. But anyway, it's almost 9 o'clock. Why am I not in bed? Anyway, the judge, whose name escapes me right now, I'll remember it after I post this because you know how my brain is. Anyway, the judge was like, hey girl, hey, yeah, I read all your papers and stuff, and your ex-kids really need this to be over. So, no, yet, 9, no, nanka, and all the languages that he could say no, he said no. And they were like, also, we think we're going to need more than 1 day. And the judge was like, no, what you're not going to do is that. Now, we scheduled for half a day. We're going to give you the whole day, but that's it. And then I will LWAP you. Then I will judiciously decide what the appropriate punishment is for people who unfortunately unalived their husbands out of greed while having a boo thing on the side and telling all their personal business to their drug dealers. See, also, there's no drug dealer confidentiality. So, bad news for Kouri Richins. She's getting sentenced on Eric's birthday. Oh, I bet she's going to be real sad. Will they make her wear jail clothes? The way I want her to be in a bad outfit at her sentencing, because that's the picture that's going to be on all the newspapers and everything. We already know she's a convicted, unfortunate unaliver. We knew she was an unaliver before. She just wasn't convicted yet. Is this going to be the last time she gets to see her ex-kids? I have questions. So, Kouri, poor little Tink, you about to have a very bad birthday. Eric and his family, now listen, would they rather have Eric? Absolutely, they would rather have Eric. But if they don't have Eric, revenge is going to be just as sweet. Listen, y'all stay safe out there. And I will see you next crime. Bye.